Okay, so we have John Jones here, UFC. Dr. Durianrider in the house. We're going to talk about drugs in sport. We're going to talk about UFC. We're going to talk about how to be full natty bra. We're going to talk about lentils and how lentils and organic kidney beans can make you swole. These are more powerful than anabolic steroids, and we'll show you why. So stay tuned. It's going to be a really informative video. We're going to do our best to keep it serious and no sarcasm. And so we have John Jones tested positive again for turinabol, which is what is turinabol? It's chlorohydroxymethyltestosterone. So it's a very old school anabolic that's not manufactured, as far as I know, it's not manufactured by any mainstream company anymore. It's more of an underground gear, but it's very, very effective, very popular with the Russians and the Germans and the American athletes. And so here we can see the fantastic results that it's given John Jones. So if you're a UFC fighter and your goal, if you're 90 kilos, he's about 90 kilos it looks like. And so if you're 90 kilos on turinabol and testosterone, etc., you're going to be punching a lot harder and have better recovery than someone who's 90 kilos and doing it natty. So you're going to have that's the transformation there. That's the physique right there. Now, let's look at some other athletes and let's talk about. Let's get to that. Let's look at some other people. So this guy also got busted for it. So anyone who looks like that, steroids. All right. This guy is. People say, "Oh no, there's a guy at my local gym who looks more swollen than that." Well, this is a Russian gold medalist Olympic athlete. All right, who has far greater genetics and work ethic potential than any gym rat in East Adelaide or East Sydney or East Toronto or whatever. Right. So if you're looking like that, you're taking gear. That's just how it is. And a lot of people don't appreciate that fact. They're like, oh no, that's not true. Like, my mate at the gym trains real hard. He eats his kidney beans. He's natty bright. And it's like, no, he's not. All right. So let's have a look at Russians. This guy also got busted for it. All right. So we see this is a pretty decent anabolic that has really, really good benefits if you're an explosive athlete. If you're a cyclist, it's not really going to help. It's more for that punching, throwing sort of athlete. So again, this guy also busted for the chlorohydroxymethyltestosterone, the turinabol, which is again the sort of a underground anabolic, but still very, very popular. So we see John Jones there, and I think John Jones is clean though, because he's not that big, is he? I think he's clean. I think this test is wrong. The fact that he got tested positive for cocaine, I disagree. I think he must have thought it was creatine. He must have thought it was creatine and just sneezed. And he got done for drink driving. Again, he probably just picked up a bottle of Sprite and it was spiked with some lean or something. And then he's got the biggest reason why John Jones is natural is he's got that Philippians 4:13 tattoo on his chest. And if you're a Christian goer like me, you understand that Philippians 4:13 reads that my strength comes from God. God lets me do anything. So you don't need steroids if you've got a Philippians 4:13 tattoo. You don't need it. So yeah, there's proof there that he is natty because he's Christian, right? And Christians are Christian. They're good. They're perfect. They're God's people. So it's all good. So he would never do that. His hit and run stuff, where he left a pregnant woman in a car and just ran and then came back to get money from the glove box. That's just fake news. That's Alex Jones fake news. Anyway, so we have here John Jones. Who's this other guy here? Both these guys are full natty bra. Who is this one here? Who's this guy? I'm not sure. Is this his grinder meetup guy or what? I'm not sure. But anyway, so we've got John Jones. I just wanted to say that John Jones, let's say it is true. Let's say that Jeff Nowitzki, who believes that the testing was too sensitive, let's believe that it is true that John Jones, God forbid, actually does take steroids to be a better fighter at the UFC. I mean, John Jones would earn maybe $1,000 per match, so he's got a little bit of pressure to take compounds to help his performance. Let's say he is taking drugs. I would say he doesn't need to. And we're having another athlete, John Intravenous here, who is also John Venus. So this is an example of you can do it naturally. You can do it full natty bra. And John Venus here is a great example of before and after. And all you need is organic kidney beans. That's all that John Jones needed to take. All these anabolic steroids, all these like Russian athletes getting caught with anabolics. They didn't need to do none of that. All they needed to do was by John Intravenous's chickpea. And another thing, this is gherkins as well. Gherkins are very high anabolic compounds. All right, so if you eat enough gherkins and watermelon, it gets you swole. It is, so you don't need to do that. I mean, look at this before and after transformation. You know what I mean? You don't need anything. I think John Intravenous should get employed by the UFC to clean up the whole doping debacle. I think he really should get employed. Again, natural. That's the creatine injection to keep the muscles going. So it is, it's all you need. Look at that. 1,000 calorie, 200 calorie meals, and doing it all natty. So his physique, in my opinion, is far superior than this stuff, the steroids. You know what I mean? Another guy as well, whom I rate as a natural transformation. Look, this is Synthnet on the left here, and all he eats is a bit of avocado, and getting the gains there. Look at that. Look at that. You got 100 calories of plants. It's going to build you more muscle than anything else. So look at that. So we're seeing again, it's just inferior product these guys are using in the UFC. They should get on the fruits and veggies and get it going on there. I was on another Simnet of their before and after. Where was it? It's a really good one. So look at that. So we're going to compare this. We're going to compare this to that. So this is steroids, and I've got natural. So it's just it's just proof in the pudding that you just don't need to do any of this stuff. That's what he was. That's the physique he was, and transformed it towards another impressive one. Something like that. And some people say, "Oh, he's not natty." No, he is. It's those berries in there. You really underestimate the anabolic profile of berries. And I think John Jones could learn from this. Could learn from this as well. So there is, it's just crazy. And here's another. Let's go Keno Body. I reckon Keno Body. Some people might say I'm making fun of the fake natty vegans. Let's go Keno Body. Keno Body. Keno Body again. Another natural athlete. So Keno Body, just to keep it fair, just keep it even. Keno Body more swollen than John Jones. So it's why are these athletes risking their careers? Why is Alexander Polgarov taking Turinabol? Why is this big guy here? He's doing natty. So there's no need for any of this stuff out there. You can keep it full natty bra. John Jones busted again. What do you do, mate? What do you do, John Jones? What are you doing, mate? What are you doing? This is another compound that works really well. This is called Tasty Nuts, and it's just peanuts. Probably peanuts anabolic score is like maybe 350. So get on the peanuts, the Tasty Nuts. We're gonna see some crazy UFC fights coming up soon, but it is on a more serious note. Lance Armstrong. Let's have a look at what Lance Armstrong said here, because Jess Nowitzki's in on this case. UFC. All right, so now we have Jess Nowitzki's blasting Lance Armstrong, so he's one of the biggest cheats and frauds in sports. Yet, Jess Nowitzki, who works for the UFC now, is backing up John Jones and saying he's natural. John Jones is natural, and he doesn't know why he's tested positive for an anabolic steroid. So Lance Armstrong, the biggest fraud in sports history, according to Jeff Nowitzki, who's now employed by the UFC, Jeff Nowitzki can't understand why a UFC fighter is tested positive for a banned anabolic steroid that the Russians and the Americans and the Australians and the Chinese have been using for years. Jeff Nowitzki is baffled. He's baffled. But Lance Armstrong got in on it as well. So we got... So Lance Armstrong said, the star fucker referring to Nowitzki, a couple of questions. Why do double standards for Jones and others? And let's get right to it. What does the science say? And what do the scientists say? I think I know the answer, but let's the star fucker speak to it. Let's let the star fucker speak to it. So Lance Armstrong should get on this. He should weigh a bit more weighty in this one here. But it is interesting stuff. But anyway, all this stuff could be totally, totally nullified. If these guys just bought the easy muscle meal stuff, they could get, all these results totally natty. And we could just end it all with just red kidney beans, and a few special push-ups. That's the end of the UFC doping crisis. What a world we live in. What a world we live in. It's lies all around. And I think the only person who's really speaking truth right now is Lance Armstrong. And he's only speaking truth because he didn't get busted. But it is pretty funny. I would love to see Lance Armstrong go full ball, full gas on all these mothers. That would be hilarious. That would blow it up. I'm not sure why Lance Armstrong doesn't go full recourse on these fools. I'm not sure why he doesn't do that. He definitely has the audience and he has the reputation. So it is really hilarious. Jeff Nowitzki working for the UFC. That's a fucking joke, isn't it? So now the serious part of the vid. This is what we live in. We live in a pharmaceutical age, all right, where people want to see insane cycling. They want to see insane body transformations, size or vascularity or just, proportion muscle, even if you're not massive. They want to see guys in the octagon just like going at it, and girls as well. They want to see girls fight like men. They want to see men fight like robots. So it's just part of the deal. It's part of the deal. And then you have big money in it. I mean, remember Jeff Nowitzki going about how bad he was against Lance Armstrong and stuff? And think of the money Jeff Nowitzki be getting paid now to be the official, to be the mediator. Like, oh, it's maybe an old test. The test is too sensitive, or maybe it's it's just coming out of his fat stores because he's dropping weight for a fight. Like this all cover-ups and like. But again, it's just about telling the noobs out there who think you can punch that hard in the 5th round and do it natty. The noobs out there who think you can have a swole physique, a full-on body transformation, just in doing calisthenics or a gym membership at 24 Fitness or whatever. The noobs out there, the people who just buy the product without any understanding, or buy the super lightweight carbon bike or the super fast running shoes without any understanding about the drugs that are involved to increase those performances or aesthetic things. Look at the videos I did about it, like sort of an Icarus style, showing people how easy it is to get anabolic steroids and local family doctors, showing people the effects, how cheap they are, etc. I got flamed for that. And it was great that I could actually go and do those videos and say, hey, look, one, my income isn't dependent on my super muscular physique. I don't have that. 2, I'm not doing any competitions where I'm getting paid to do that, so it doesn't matter. My performances, aren't determining my income or anything like my status. People come to see my opinion, and so I have that freedom to be able to do experiments and all sorts of things, and then show you the results or no results, etc. And you can formulate your own decision. So I have that freedom there. So it feels really good that I can be totally transparent and people say, oh, I've done this, done that. This person I suspect of doing that quite clearly, and people can just take it or leave it. But we live in a world where you can get sponsors drop you or whatever. It's crazy out there. So if you talk any truth, then most people don't like that. Fans won't like that. Remember all the stuff we used to say about Lance Armstrong, he was a doper, etc. People flame me for that. And then Lance eventually came clean on it. And I was never hating on Lance. I was just sharing my honest opinion that you can't ride that fast. 500 watts up a mountain in the Tour de France. You can't do that clean. You can't do that clean. You can't run a marathon in 2:02 clean. You can't. You can't have that aesthetic physique, with those delt caps like that. You can't do it clean. It's just part of the deal. And there are people out there who don't want to believe that, and that's fine. We're out here just to share some information out there. Anyway, that is the deal. I enjoy watching the UFC. I enjoy watching the Tour de France. I enjoy watching the fake natties on Instagram, etc. I enjoy it all. My goal here is just to let people know that if it looks too good to be true, it is. And honestly, that's just human nature. We all want to have something next level to stand out. It's a very, 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 very competitive world out there, and it's increasingly competitive. So don't hate the player, hate the game. Don't be so naive. If someone has a certain look of muscularity or insane athletic performance, then understand that is the result of pharmaceuticals, which let you train insane and have an insane level of protein synthesis and high level of anabolic hormones in the body. It creates an insane effect. And a lot of people just think that if you take steroids, you're going to become 150 kilos. You know, I just think, oh, he's not big enough to be on steroids or whatever. It's crazy, but yeah, what I recommend people go and do, educate yourself. Educate yourself. Find people actually who will be open about stuff and stuff like that. You know, or just here's another one. If someone looks the same as someone who got busted for steroids, if you're an Olympic athlete and you get busted for steroids, and there's someone on Instagram or YouTube who claims they're natural, but their physique is more impressive than the person who's the Olympic athlete, I'm not sure people appreciate how hard that is to be. If they've got a more impressive physique than an Olympic athlete, a power lifter or a boxer or whatever, and they're claiming to be natural, you know they're talking shit. If there's a cyclist out there or a runner who's performing the same watts or 10K time as the Olympic runners, and they're claiming they're natural, they're just like a recreational runner, just sort of, you know, just doing it clean, they're full of shit as well. Right? That's a litmus test. That's the best test there. Right? If their performances are the same, or they look the same, etc., or look better, or perform better, you know it's sus. Right? So when you see me doing 450 watts up Norton Summit, you know, durianrider's he's stayed full natty bra. Right? So you know what, I went into the EPO there. Otherwise, yeah, it's pretty simple. When I start looking like these fake natty bodybuilders out there, then yeah, you know that I've stayed on and increased my dose. So simple as that. Yeah, you can't deny those facts. Anyway, hopefully it's a bit of insight there for people out there. It's all just a big game out there. It's just a fucking big show. The world is run by money. It's super competitive. Everyone will fuck everyone over, especially if they see you as a competition. And it's a harsh world out there. I'm very lucky here that I can just live a very simple life. You know, I don't need much money. I've got enough money. I can just make my fun videos, share my opinions, my comments and criticisms, and just help inform and educate people. My goal here is to share with people so they don't beat themselves up when they try and do something naturally and they don't get the results they wanted, you know, and they're comparing themselves against people who are clearly taking, not just taking, but abusing and using long-term anabolic steroids. Right? So don't try and keep up with people who are, you know, on the hardcore program. And don't, you know, what's the word? Don't feel angered towards them. That's just their choice. And you could take it as well if you wanted to. It's everyone's choice. But just give up on trying to compete against, you know, people who are taking these hardcore compounds, because these compounds are fucking transformative, man, on your physique. If I stayed on gear, then I would be 90 kilos. Yeah, I'd be 90 kilos easy by now, and I would be a swole. I'd be ripped. 90. Make you imagine a 90 or a 95 kilo durianrider. Some people are like, yeah, do it, mate, do it. I mean, my running would go to shit. My cycling would go to shit. So I wouldn't do it like that. But if I did, I'd tell people, say, look, I ain't natty. You know, I ain't gonna fucking lie to my audience like that. That's definitely the worst thing, is every day people think your physique is a result of hard work and dedication. And he wouldn't do steroids because he's a nice guy. Nice people do steroids. You know? People who want the enhancement, they do them, they stay on them. That's just how it is. Just because people do steroids doesn't make them a bad person. It's just a choice in the moment to be natty or fake natty. And tell your fans otherwise. Anyway, hopefully that's informative. Not hating, just saying. Open your eyes out there. Understand it's a very competitive world. Let's stop the trashing of the fake natties. Let's just understand that, yeah, they want the money, they want the fame, and they're going to take gear. They always will, and they always have. And it won't ever stop.